the outcomes you need to reach there. For assessment 2, you'll be required to complete 2 elements that's also written and practical. The goal of this assignment is to reflect on what it means to be a teacher in the modern Australian classroom. Really, this assignment is bringing together all of the elements that we've learnt about in the unit in regards to what teaching is right now in Australia, and you can do this through engaging with a practicing teacher. Now, importantly, this is conducting an interview of a current classroom teacher or an observation of a pre-recorded interview. Very important that if you cannot conduct an interview for some reason, or it falls through for you, so you may set something up with a teacher, maybe it's a local school, you can approach a local school and ask them if any teachers are willing to be interviewed, or maybe you know some teachers, whether it's family members, friends, maybe you have children where there's teachers in a school that you're familiar with. We're going to be going through how to approach the individual, how to frame your questions, how to frame the interview itself. So don't worry too much about that at this point. I'll go through that in more detail later. But for the time being, you may want to think about, is it possible for me to conduct an interview with a teacher, whether it's face-to-face, on the phone, or Skype? If you think that's absolutely impossible for you, you need to contact me as soon as possible, and I will provide access to the pre-recorded interview that I have arranged. So you're going to be creating and framing some questions based on these prompts, basically around what teachers do, what are their responsibilities, what are their requirements, what are some of their duties, how do they use ICT. That's going to be the focus. So again, you're not required to submit the interview recording or transcript itself, but the idea is to use as much evidence from that interview as possible in your assignment, which is element 2. So analyzing the interview. So this is your notes that you're going to do. This is prompts to help you do your analysis. The write-up comes here in these 3 questions. So summarize the aspects of your interview that align with your understanding of what teachers do and what aspects you found unexpected. Then think about, from your interview, explain how well do the ATEL standards, which we'll be addressing extensively in this unit, how they reflect what actually goes on day to day with teaching and what's included in the standards, what's missing, what aspects that you feel do not align. Think about how you're going to develop your own knowledge or skills in that area. So clearly, from the interview, it seems clear that the ATEL standards probably, and you're going to find out quickly, don't necessarily cover everything. So how are you going to make sure that you're going to learn those particular aspects of the things that the ATEL standards don't cover? So again, word count between 1,500 and 2,000 words using APA 6 format. There is a rubric on the Blackboard page. Please make yourself familiar with that. Pass requirements, very importantly, you must pass all assessments, submit all assessments to attain a mark of over 50% to achieve a pass mark in this unit. And there's some details about failing, and you can read that there. Moderation. Importantly, a late assessment policy is in place, and I stick to that late assessment policy so it's fair and equal for all students. There will be a 10% reduction per calendar day, so that includes the weekend for late assessments. So past the midnight submission date, there's a 10% reduction. If you submit it at 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes past the midnight, that is fine. Generally more than an hour or two, you'll get the 10% reduction. If it's more than 7 calendar days overdue, it won't be marked and it'll receive a mark of 0. It'll still be considered submitted, but it will get a mark of 0. It's very important that if you need an assessment extension, please submit the extension form prior to the submission date. You're much more likely to get an assessment extension if you think about, okay, I'm not able to hand this in on time because of whatever situation, if you're unwell, if you have family members you need to care for that are unwell, or other situations that come up in your life. simply submit the assessment extension with attached documentation, and you're more than likely to get that granted. So please make yourself familiar with the policy on these couple of pages. It is your responsibility, have a read here, to submit files that I can read. That means a Word document or a PDF file. You best not use pages. Use Word or PDF is the best way to submit your work through Turnitin, through Blackboard. There is information here about assessment appeals, should you wish to or need to go through an appeal, supplementary assessments, etc. We are using APA6 referencing style. If you've never used that, the onus is on you to learn how that works. So please ensure that you become familiar with that referencing style. You may have used Harvard or MLA in the past for your undergraduate or other studies. The School of Education uses APA6. Have a read of the library guide in terms of that referencing style. Please have a read of the academic integrity section. I won't go through it now. Everything is in that text there. And we'll go through here. There's additional information around student support for OUA students. Please access that if you need. I'll go through here. Student rights and responsibilities, it's all in there. Student equity, please make yourself familiar with the student equity policy through Curtin University, all listed there. This is the program calendar. It's mirrored on your Blackboard site. As you can see, there are some topics that go over 2 weeks. So you can either take 2 weeks to do that learning, or you can do it all within 1 week. It's completely up to you and how you like to step out your particular studying. But there will be 2 weeks of content delivery for some topics. Topic 1 and topic 2 that applies to, and there are some topics where there is only 1 week of learning there. So make yourself familiar with the various topics, what's coming up, the readings that's required, particularly in the core text, and then the additional readings that are listed on each of the topic tabs in the unit Blackboard page. So that's the unit outline. I hope that that's provided some context and some detail for you. Please email me with any questions if you have specific queries for anything that's in the unit outline, but ensure that you become very familiar with this document, and everything that you need to succeed is contained in here, and this is really your guide on how to achieve success and hopefully great achievement in this particular unit. Thanks for watching, and I'll be speaking to you all soon.